There you go. Liverpool beaten by Chelsea 1-0. I'm here to do the player ratings as ever. Some poor ratings coming out today. Lloris Karius, probably a 6 out of 10. Standard performance from him. It was okay. Yeah, I'm not feeling the player ratings tonight. Nathaniel Klein, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. I thought he just looked a little bit rusty. I thought, he slowed down attacks wherever the ball was played into his feet. He did what Nathaniel Klein has always kind of done, and, well, effectively misconsoled it, which he never used to do. But you can understand why he's done that. And then it was just playing safe options back to the centre-half or maybe inside to a centre midfielder. He just didn't give us that attacking threat that we've seen and had so often this season when we've played Trent out there. And in a defensive sense, he was coming up against Eden Hazard, who, as the game went on, started to gain control of the match, and you can understand why he was withdrawn at 60 minutes, because he was starting to look tired as well. He's not played a lot of football this season. Eden Hazard's a great player and was starting to get the better of him, starting to get to the byline. His close control was brilliant, and Nathaniel Klein was struggling up against him, so I think that's why he was probably withdrawn, and Trent moved back in at right back. The two centre-halves, I'll give Dejan a 6 out of 10. Ultimately he's beaten on the header by Giroud, but for me, it looked like a little flick off Mane's head as the cross came in from Victor Moses, and it was then Lovren was caught a little bit flat-footed, but I give most of the credit. I don't say it's a Lovren mistake. I think the credit's got to go to Olivier Giroud. Quite often the forward in those situations wants the ball a little bit more, gets in front of the defender, and he gets the goal. It was a good header by Giroud. He does what he does and sticks it away, doesn't he? Van Dijk could probably give him a 7 out of 10. I thought whenever he went up for battles with Giroud, he tended to win them, and he looked good on the ball as he always does, although we did move the ball very slowly all game, lots of passing side to side, considering we dominated possession. All we had to get out of that game was a draw, and ultimately we conceded a goal and lose the game. Poor display all round. I think Andrew Robertson, not his usual self either. I've looked at Andrew Robertson over the last few weeks and stuff, and I've never really noticed him tired, but today I did feel like he was a little bit tired. He wasn't able to support the attacks in quite the same way that he's been able to do thus far this season, so I'll probably give him a 6 out of 10. Gini Wijnaldum, I liked his performance in that 6, and I think it was telling that when Henderson came on, Gini stayed in the 6 as well, and he was good in winning the ball back sometimes, and he was good at turning and trying to break, but we missed that runner from midfield, didn't we? A guy who could put his foot on the ball and break at their defence, and it wasn't Gini's job today. The two lads in front of him didn't really help him out in that regard. I'll probably give him a 7 out of 10 for Wijnaldum. Trent Alexander-Arnold, loses the ball once early on, and it's a poor pass, and he's actually covering for the right-back position at the time. Nathaniel Klein's further ahead of him. I liked the interplay between them, the interchange of positions between Klein and Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's quite often, he was able to play a ball into Roberto Firmino's feet, which I enjoy seeing from a central midfielder, especially when Firmino's coming back for the ball, looking to turn and moving on. Trent Alexander-Arnold was able to do that. Again, telling that he moved into the right-back position and was then tasked with looking after Eden Hazard. But again, a difficult afternoon for Trent, and, he probably gets a 6 out of 10 from me today, but, I've seen a lot of reaction on Twitter and on social media about how poor he was, and this is a 19-year-old lad who played in midfield at Chelsea away, and that's a difficult place. He's come up against Kante, he's coming up against Bakayoko, and he's coming up against Fabregas, and this is essentially his first midfield start, so, yeah, he didn't dominate midfield, but then it's Chelsea away, and he's come up against them 3 players. James Milner, I'll probably give him a 7 out of 10. I thought he worked tirelessly across the left, across the right. He was trying to pop up everywhere. He then gets shifted to left back, puts a performance in. You could see him struggling first half, and he didn't let him affect it. And he puts a little cruncher in early on Eden Hazard. He probably gets an extra point for that, to be fair. Mo Salah, 5 out of 10 for Mo. I thought he was really disappointing today. Not many touches for him. Rudiger marshalled him really well. He played tight up against him. Salah wasn't able to turn. Whenever Salah did try and get the ball over the top, Rudiger was there because he's a fast defender, physical with him, always pushing on himself. Maybe he should have had a penalty, maybe it would have been a soft penalty, but ultimately it was a poor performance from Mo Salah, and a poor performance from that right hand side in general, to be fair. Roberto Firmino, give a 6 out of 10. Again, he's always looking for the ball. but he never managed to get the ball and, you know, in dangerous areas and obviously score a goal. And it's difficult, isn't it? Some of the times that Liverpool were attacking, it needed to be perfect and the ball just wasn't perfect tonight. And Sadio Mane, I'll probably give my man of the match. I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. I thought he was the one that looked likely to make something happen. He had that good save from Thibaut Courtois from outside the area early on. He has another one that's rebounded to him, and then he like sticks a toe at it just to get a shot off, and again Courtois saves it. Chelsea Marshall does really well today. It was a very, very difficult game for Liverpool. I think everybody knows that. You know, we looked a little bit lacklustre, we looked a little bit leggy. Chelsea played very, very well. Once they got the lead, they never really looked like conceding a goal. Substitute, Alberto Moreno, I'm not going to give him a mark because he came on so late. Jordan Henderson, I thought, did well when he came in. He was picking up that position sort of just inside right with Trent bombing on. He was whipping that ball. There was a couple of times something nearly came from it. Probably give him a 7 out of 10 for his performance. And Dom Solanke, a couple of headers late on in the game. I've seen again loads on social media around how crap he is and stuff like that. Now, it's Chelsea away. He hasn't scored a goal all season. He's had a bad 20 minutes, but did anyone really stand up today for a man and be counted? Probably not, no. So I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. That's my player ratings. Leave your player ratings in the comments section below, and I will see you next time on the Redmen.